The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN headquarters in St. Petersburg, Florida. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 hour to go until the opening bell. And we got markets right now in positive territory. Dow futures up 345 points, trading 28,706. S&P futures up 40 at 3286. NASDAQ futures up 138 points. That's a solid 1.5% in the NASDAQ, trading at 9252. I'm going to try and get my charts up here. That looks to be stuck, Al. Maybe if you can try and grab them as well. We'll get them up indeed, but nonetheless, higher prices, higher price list for Tesla as well. We just hit $905 in the price of Tesla. If you give me one moment while I try and get these charts up, because that's something that we're going to want to see. There we go. Perfect. There's your Tesla chart. We're going to start it off. Let me put this up in the den. There we go. And we're back in action. Tesla, folks, $905 high. Quite the acceleration yesterday. You just back things up to the end of Friday when, of course, Tesla already headlines everywhere. We were trading at $650. This morning, opening at around $900 for the price of Tesla. Jumping over to the indices, we'll jump back to the markets. Started off with the Dow, 28,719. You see the slide from Friday. We've claimed back almost that entire slide of Friday action where markets were down between about 1.5 and 2%. The Dow reached a low of 28,111. We're up more than 600 Dow points from yesterday's action through this morning on the Dow. NASDAQ 100, 9260, charging higher. We got Google earnings last night. We'll get into the earnings in a moment, but checking out Google, actually trading lower this morning at about 1435, closed at 1485 on their earnings last evening. We'll get into the numbers again in a moment, but that hitting the NASDAQ 100, and even with that hit yesterday, 9259, actually over where we were Friday morning, and over we're just making new highs right now over the Thursday highs in the NASDAQ 100. S&P 500, 3287. We were as high as about 3297 early, but the 915 escalation on Friday beginning at only 3279. So we're now 8 S&P points above where we were Friday morning. Euro US dollar, 110.53, trading a bit lower. Crude oil back above $51 at 51.41. And there's your gold contract, trading inverse with the market. Sunday evening, gold opening at around $15.96, almost making it to $1,600, now trading at $15.70.34. In terms of what we have happening, you got to talk about it because it's pretty remarkable that it continues. Tesla, yet again, soaring maybe 14% or so, might be back off those highs a bit, but in early trading, following a 19% surge yesterday. So Tesla jumped again Tuesday, set to open at a new record high. As a major shareholder, Ron Barron forecasts the company will top $1 trillion in revenue in a decade. I don't know why you'd be surprised that a major shareholder is touting big things for the company. But nonetheless, I just can't believe this freaking stock. It's insane. Roth Capital analyst said, of course, that's got to be the reaction. And to put it back in some context as well, TSLA. There's your chart just the last 2 days, as I mentioned. But you back this up on 3 years on a weekly. We were trading at $176 just back in June. We're now trading more than $600 above that price level, actually $700 as we hit $900 from that price level in June. Just a remarkable run, and you have to imagine that's a parabolic run, and we got to see a pullback at some point. As I mentioned, Google out with their earnings last night. Jumping back to the chart to get into their earnings. Alphabet shares slide despite earnings beat. Their numbers, Alphabet beat earnings per share but came in short on revenue. So they're earning what they're supposed to, but they weren't pulling in the revenue on the top line. That has to do with costs, not exactly the way you grow the company, but they're growing, just not to the projection. Market looking for $46.94 billion in revenue, came in at $46.08. Earnings per share, $15.35 versus only $12.53 was the estimate. And traffic acquisition costs, $8.5 billion versus the $8.5 billion they were looking for. YouTube ads generated $15.15 billion in revenue in 2019, with $4.72 billion in the fourth quarter alone. The segment generated $11.6 billion revenue in 2018. That's quite a number, from $11.16 billion in 2018 to $15.15 in 2019. including 3.6 was the fourth quarter of 2018. Segment does not include YouTube's non-advertising revenue like subscriptions for YouTube TV. So that's straight ads that you're seeing in front of those YouTube videos, $15 billion in 2019. Google's cloud business generating $8.92 billion in revenue in 2019. 2.61 in the fourth quarter. In 2018, they came in at 5.84. So that's quite a growth from under 6 to almost 9. That's almost 50% growth. Yeah, 53% from last year. Google's total advertising revenue, $37.93 billion in the fourth quarter compared to $33.91. Pretty remarkable that you grow the company, all those stats I just listed off, and then Google, drilling this down a little bit shorter, that's a 3-year chart. Pretty remarkable run as they've basically doubled almost in that time. But this morning, trading from, as we mentioned, 1485, looking to open at about 1439, but we're as low as exactly 1400 on the dot. Basil Chapman, those round numbers. What else? We have to talk about it. The Iowa caucuses last night, if you didn't hear about it, quite a snafu as the app that was supposed to be used, at least it's being reported, had trouble counting, lots of questions, quote-unquote inconsistencies. So nonetheless, the results probably coming out today. For the amount of leg time and work that those candidates did in Iowa, pretty remarkable that they allow that type of a failure, not having the results on Tuesday evening, but hopefully they get to the bottom of that. What else we have happening? Sony raises outlook on strong sensor demand, warns of virus risk on supply chain. I would expect so. Sony raised its annual profit outlook on strong sales of smartphone image sensors after reporting smaller than expected decline in quarterly profit, but they warned of the impact on the Wuhan coronavirus on its global supply chain. We'll jump over to those updates as well. We're over 20,000 people infected at this point. The virus outbreak could rattle supply chains for its PlayStation gaming hardware and other consumer electrics. Jumping over to Sony this morning, or I should say as it's trading over in Tokyo, pretty marginal. I wonder if that's a closing price or not on Sony. As we mentioned, Tesla jumping around as well. You have Alphabet shares in terms of some of the analysts, what they're talking about, and some of the stocks making moves today, pulling this up. What else we have? Clorox reporting, beating estimates by 15 cents a share with quarterly earnings of $1.46 a share. Revenue also topped estimates. Clorox raised its full-year outlook as cost savings and price increases made up for increased costs. Clicking over to them. You can see the rise there last night, coming out with their earnings up about 2% coming into the early trading. Jumping around as well, checking in on different markets. The VIX this morning, as the market continues higher, looking actually it was under 16 at one point. Yeah, the VIX trading at about 16.12. Jumping over to oil. There's your oil chart, climbing back from about 49.66, the low last night. Crude trading at about 51.37 right now. Gold contract, as I said, trading inverse with the markets, was as high as almost 1,600 earlier in the week, like Sunday evening when futures open. Gold trading at about 15.70.10. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be coming back from the break. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll go over what else we have happening in the market, what stocks are moving, check in on the indices. We'll be right back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in positive territory right now. Dow futures up 363 points, trading 28,717. S&P futures positive by 42, 3288. NASDAQ up 146 points, or 1.6%. I'm going to start things off this segment. We're going to jump over to Asia. So as far as the numbers in Asia, the indices, you have the Nikkei up about 0.5%, Shanghai up 1.3%, HSI 1.21%, ASX 200, 0.4%. All of those recovering from the drastic 7 to 9% that they tanked on Monday. The market, and that having to do with some of what's happening in the U.S. Jumping over, let me zoom out a bit as I'm in here. Chinese annual GDP growth could fall below 2%. Some of the economists warning. China said at the end of Monday that cases for the new coronavirus in the mainland now passed 20,400 with a total of 425 deaths. The spread of the virus has sparked concern over the potential fallout for the world's second largest economy. I would say so. China's economy could grow by less than 2% year over year, according to Pantheon Macroeconomics chief Asia economist Freya Bimish. China said at the end of Monday that cases of the new coronavirus, and why don't we jump to those numbers as well? There they are. Hong Kong reports first death as mainland China cases cross 20,000. That number at 20,438. Hong Kong Hospital Authority told CNBC a 39-year-old man had died in the city's first coronavirus-related death. There's now only 3 out of 13 ports going from mainland China to Hong Kong still open. Those in Hong Kong, many arguing for the closure of that completely. We covered the 2% GDP growth for China. Jumping back, this headline just for the day, stocks are to rally. Second day with Dow up more than 300, as we mentioned. So getting into the China numbers, this has to do, the continued bounce comes after a Reuters report said China's central bank could cut its key lending rate, as well as banks' reserve requirement ratios in the coming weeks to support economic growth. The report came a day after the People's Bank of China unveiled liquidity injection measures to the tune of more than 1 trillion yuan. So China markets in the positive today, probably having to do with the central bank and the government stepping in over there. But that alone, knowing that they are willing to step in somewhere to the tune of only a 7 to 9% failure with, I believe it was 3,200 plus stocks in China trading limit down yesterday, and they trade to positive territory today. So the market responding to that in the U.S. Chinese stocks jumped sharply overnight after a massive slump Monday. As we covered, Shanghai closed 1.3% higher. Shenzhen A shares gaining 1.8%. Other equity indexes in the region, including Hong Kong's Hang Seng and the Korean Kospi, also posted strong gains. That positive sentiment spilling over to Europe equity markets. The Stock 600 gained 1.1%. German DAX climbed 1.2%, and the France CAC advancing 1.3. Markets were higher despite a climbing death toll. That's the part here that, I think this having a lot to do with, that China stepping in, stimulus, and not quite a statement on whether things are under control with the coronavirus. As we mentioned, now this article having 20,679 confirmed cases. Alphabet beat its earnings. This jumping around. Tesla up higher, as we mentioned. Oil futures were below $50. What else happening? It is earnings season. Scrolling up, I believe we get Disney after the bell today. Big week of earnings. You see the numbers up here. 172 companies today. 147 Wednesday. 177 on Thursday. Jumping over to Disney shares. Disney trading higher prior to that number. So they're up about $3 at $144.39 ahead of their earnings. Closed at $141.32. For some context of where Disney has traded over the last year, Disney really begins to trade higher last year. I believe this was when they announced the pricing for their Disney Plus streaming service in early April. The market figuring out that they were going to offer that service for $6.99, I believe. They were going to bundle it with Hulu and ESPN Plus for, I want to say, $14 to $17, somewhere in that range. This gap away in November when they actually start streaming, the huge day, which was November 13th, the day that they announced that they had already signed up 10 million people to their subscriber service. The high to 153.41 actually made it to as low as 135, now trading 141.32. And keeping in mind that the numbers thrown around is that they hope somewhere around 25 million they're claiming, or at least the rumor number is the subscribers they hope to sign up by the end of that quarter. 25 million already on Disney. And again, getting into the Analyze tab on Thinkorswim, excuse me, to see the type of move that Disney's expecting. You see the volatility. $8.21. The market looking for quite a move. When you think $1.40 is 1% for that company, so $2.80. You're talking about 6%, somewhere in that range. For Disney to trade after hours, $8.21. Jumping on back to the earnings to see what else we have going on this week. As we mentioned, big day on Tuesday. Scrolling down the list, you have Allstate, Ethan Allen coming out with their earnings. It's amazing how many banks there are that persist throughout this entire earnings season. RBC, many of them not getting much attention. Smaller banks, but nonetheless, many banks. Who else we have? We have Ford coming out with their earnings today. I'm sure they'll have a few questions from analysts having to do with Tesla. McKesson Group, MCK. As we mentioned, Clorox out before the bell. CTS, Ralph Lauren. Let's see Ralph Lauren, because they say before the market, RL. And yeah, check that out. Not sure their numbers just yet, but Ralph Lauren doing well in the quarter, it looks like. So they were looking for $249, and they came in at $286. Again, scrolling over that on the Thinkorswim platform. The number spiking from $113.26 at $120.50 right now for Ralph Lauren. As we mentioned, Disney after the market today. That is for Tuesday. Jumping over to Wednesday, what we have on the tab. Scrolling, looking for some of the bigger names. You have O'Reilly Automotive coming out on Wednesday. ORLY. A little bit of a downtrend recently. I believe the Analyze tab is going to show. Oops, we're still on. So $17 getting priced into O'Reilly as they come out with their numbers within 24 hours by tomorrow. $17, $406 stock. Some of these automotive companies quite the run up to 454 from 345 earlier in the year. Continuing to look for other stocks that are on the radar. This is Wednesday. Merck & Company, they'll come out with their earnings. Fox Corp. And jump into Thursday. Activision. I believe I saw a couple names on Thursday. We'll pull it up during the break, though, is what we'll do. We'll get you Thursday. We'll get you Friday earnings coming up. We'll see what we have on tap. We'll finish out the morning. Checking back in on the S&P 500. 3287. That high again Friday, 3297. We'll be right back, folks.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranked me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got the Dow futures up 368, S&P futures positive by 43, and NASDAQ futures positive by 145. Checking in on the bond market, the 10-year getting a little bit of a pop as we get some lower price in the yield market, higher yield, the 10-year at 1.59% right now as we open trading this morning. I got a chart of the S&P, keeping track again from 32.97 Friday to 32.12 at the low on Friday evening, 32.88, clawing almost that entire pullback down. You're talking about almost 90 S&P points, almost a 3% run down from Thursday evening at 8 p.m., Friday afternoon at 3:30, till Tuesday morning, down 32.88. One final check in on the VIX this morning. Jumping over to some of the VIX. There's your action, 1602. The gold contract, as we mentioned, trading inverse in the market, now making new lows at 1566 right now. And oil, as an OPEC meeting opens up today. Jumping over to that headline as we wrap up the program. OPEC oil prices rise ahead of OPEC meeting to discuss coronavirus. So you have OPEC meeting today and tomorrow. Going to be talking about potential cuts to boost the price of oil. What else is happening out there? Head on over to the front page of TFNN.com. You'll see an event a week from tomorrow. No, a week from Thursday. A week from Thursday, Basil Chapman, February 13th, day before Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th. 4 till 5:30, 90 minutes he'll be in there with subscribers to the opening call, a dark cloud cover, an essential market analysis. Basil talking about how he got his subscribers short in the Dow at January 21st. And also, Nico and Paige with their program this morning, they Primal Edge, $25 off for this month. If you want to enter the promo code just for this product, Primal Edge, $25 off. You can subscribe and save $25 off your first bottle. You can cancel at any time. That is a great source of all your daily vitamins, as Nico and Paige say, every Tuesday. If you don't check them out, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I appreciate you joining me, folks. Stay tuned. We got our man Larry Pesavento coming up live with Trade What You See at 9 o'clock. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Fast Market by TD Ameritrade. Thinkorswim at 11. Basil Chapman, Steve Rhodes, Dave White, Tom O'Brien, all this afternoon. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.